Today's episode of Literally is sponsored by Lowe's. Tell me about North Dakota, growing up in North Dakota. What'd you get into?
It's an amazing place to grow up. I spent, my first 22 years there. Then couldn't wait to get out and go see the world. But now after all these years, 25 years in California, I was ready to go back. And I just got my residency back there after all that time. But it's an amazing place. But, I was telling you a second ago, I was listening to the pod with you and Eli Roth, and it just brought back so many memories of how terrifying those days were with all the satanic stuff and all the, even Ozzy at the time was freaking me out a little bit. And with, Faces of Death and all that stuff. Oh my gosh.
I wonder, it's like, when I had Eli Roth on the podcast, we were talking about is it just a function of the time we grew up in, or came of age as young boys and we're into crazy stuff and pushing boundaries? Or is it, do you think kids today, do you think they're still doing that too? I don't know. The Ouija board, all that craziness.
Well, you guys also spoke to, that it's like that passage, from boyhood to manhood that I think all boys have, that they're lured to the darkness in some weird way, just to see how scared they can get or what they can, get past. So I feel like that was one of those things that for me, it was the same way. I was like, you don't see much of that anymore. I guess it's in a different capacity, but you see, not far from where I was from, there was a whole satanic thing growing up and we were all terrified of it. Like, what is this, like something that we can't control, something we can't avoid? And anyway, I just thought it was really fascinating.
Did you have local legends? Like a certain street or a certain house that was haunted, or we had back in Ohio, we had, what was the name of the Betty Lane, whatever that was. It was like, there was a family that lived at the cul-de-sac and they were free. Who knows what? I just love that stuff.
Yeah, I know. And it was us. The name of the town, I think it was Vargas, North Dakota. There's supposed to be some satanic cult out there that we were all like. But I do remember that it was real to a degree. It might have been because there was already this uproar and sphere of this thing sort of infesting the local communities, and they took it really seriously. Now I think that they would just be able to, debunk it pretty quickly.
But also, it's one of those things, if I actually went to Betty Lane and knocked on the door, they'd be like, yeah, we just don't have any electricity here. Whatever. our minds have turned them into freaks. Something crazy like that. Wait, now are you living, okay, I keep saying, I think you're showing up on my social media feed as it's not that you're living off the grid, but you kind of are, right? There's something, you have a cabin, what's going on with that? Because I'm fascinated.
So we just got back from out there. We spent the whole summer out there, mostly because we're back in Los Angeles now, but we were getting our place renovated here. So we were sort of homeless, other than we have a place in Fargo, North Dakota, but we spend a lot of our time at a cabin in Minnesota. And no, it's not off the grid, but it was for a while pretty, it felt like we were homesteading. Because I bought this little shack of a cabin, and then it had no electricity or water, so it was pretty rough. And then I bought the property next to that. So then I had 50 acres out there, but that one had electricity but no water. So we were washing our dishes in the lake for the longest time. We were just sort of roughing the wood burning stoves and the whole thing. It was amazing.
Did you ice fish? Did the whole thing?
We do a little ice fishing. Yeah, it's growing up in Minot, North Dakota, I didn't love winters because it's, North. Have you ever been in North Dakota?
I've passed through it in the summer.
Yeah, in the winter, it's brutally cold. It's
brutally cold. It's the coldest place on planet Earth, and I can't believe you pulled that off.
I can't believe that people actually settled there when I really think about it.
Yes.
This feels perfect. It must have been the middle of summer when they said that, right? Because winter comes and it's just, I think about that when we were, first starting out the cabin, just how did people even survive the winter in this? We come out with our truck and our thing and we'd stay for a week or so and then we're out. I would survive whole winters like that. And it's just anyway, yeah, it was but winter time in Minot was, all I remember is just by the time March came around, you couldn't wait for spring. There's that spring fever is real.
Yes.
Now at the cabin, we have it's like winter wonderland, and we have it's just we have snowmobiles. We can do. There's so much stuff that we can do. So yeah, it's not quite like summer, but it is a lot of fun out there.
How old are the kids?
I have a 20-month-old and a
wait. You had an infant out there?
Oh yeah. Yeah. What do you mean?
What
if
they? I mean, I don't know about you. My infants were always at the goddamn strep throat, ear infection.
Oh,
doctor. What do you do?
For the longest time we couldn't even get out there because there's a 2-mile stretch through the woods to get there, so we couldn't get there until I got this Bobcat T6, like the skid steer.
Yeah,
and we got a big blower on it, so now we can blow our. It's almost you've seen the movie Shining.
Yes.
All work and no play makes Josh a dull boy. So
yeah, 100%.
My wife doesn't let me stay there for any longer than,
You had to have Dick Halloran come up and clear the snow for you.
Who?
Dick Halloran. That's
Oh yeah. It was so that's really what it is. We were able to get back in there now in the snow, and it gets, we're deep in the woods. So, but we can get out if we need to. It's not like it can't. If somebody gets hurt or sick, it's a 40-minute drive to a hospital. Pretty fun, man.
I love it. I don't know if it's like the fantasy of who I think I am, or if I could actually do it. But I would definitely give it a go. I'd for sure give it a go. I love that. I love that you did that.
Yeah.
You also lived up sort of in my neck of the woods in Santa Barbara. Up in what the hell was it? Santa Ynez.
Yes. Well, yes. My former father-in-law had a vineyard up there.
Wow.
Yeah. So my father-in-law had a vineyard. And what's the name of the town? The little Dutch town right there.
Solvang.
Yeah, Solvang. So yeah, I mean that's one of the most beautiful parts of the whole country is up in Central California. It really is. Is that where you're at now?
Yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara, Montecito. Okay. So not in the valley, but right over.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country and not so crazy.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. It's not. I mean, I got my kids out of LA as soon as I could. LA was great it's like I think it's sort of what you were saying. It's for a certain type of person and or a person in a certain time in their life.
Yeah, it's
great. And I think all the big cities are that way. It's whether it's New York, Paris, whatever. It's a certain type of person, and or a person in a certain time of their life, right?
Yeah, I mean that was me. I mean, like I said, I couldn't wait to get out when I was in my 20s and go see the world. But then after a certain, start to have kids and you start to realize what does actually matter to you in that time. And it was time for us to go back. But I still love coming back to California and Los Angeles. And, I live a much more regimented life here in California. It's like when I'm out at the cabin, it's just hot dogs and, there's no sort of program.
There's no program, which by the way is a program in and of itself.
Right. So I couldn't wait to get back here and just sort of get back into it. So, it's good to have both sides of it, I guess.
We got to talk about your time working with one of my all-time favorite, complicated. I can only imagine. I cannot wait to hear your take on it. Jimmy Caan.
Oh boy.
So one of the great moments I ever had. So I had a long time. I had a friend who grew up as Jimmy's basically adopted son.
Okay.
And Jimmy was like a second father to my friend who since passed away, and would take him to the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, and I mean, whatever you can imagine, right? And so I got to know Jimmy through him, and Jimmy loved playing pickup basketball with us. And this is when I was a young bachelor, and I had a court in my Nichols Canyon Hollywood bachelor's pad, and Jimmy would come over. And one night,
is this pre-sobriety or post-sobriety?
For me, it was right.
Or was Jimmy the reason you got sober?
No, Jimmy was not the reason. And by the way, my friends swore up and down that Jimmy was clean as a deacon. Jimmy never did anything. So we're shooting he's shooting, he's the free throw line.
Yeah.
We're all we're not playing a game yet. We're kind of guys putting on their shoes, and he's kind of by himself. And I kind of walk up and I'm waiting for a rebound, and apropos of nothing, just kind of to himself, he shoots a free throw and he goes, I was a big star once, but I fixed it. That's my favorite.
What is that? So what does that mean? He was a big star once, but he fixed that, meaning he made sure he wasn't a big star?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what? That's really what I love about that dude. He's an open book. He was, I worked with him for 5 years. And at first he was, I don't think he liked me very well at first. He's like, I just want to break your nose. You're too pretty. I just want to break your nose. But truly one of the sweetest and open, honest mentors that I ever had. He's the first guy that would say, do as I say, not as I do. He's one of those guys that was just, he would admit that he was, because he was the number one box office star in the world, I think in 80 and 81.
That late in his career. That's amazing.
He was a huge star, and and he'll be the first to admit that he went wild. But that was kind of his allure, is what made him so fun. Even as I think he was 66 when we started Vegas, and he was probably 70, 71 when we were done. But he would just talk, and even then he just loved the action. He loved the drama. He loved chaos around him. That's how he felt like he operated best. But always one of those guys who didn't matter if you were, just an intern, a PA, or if you're the network showrunner. He treated everybody the same, and that's what I really loved about him, is he didn't care. He would sit and talk to anybody about anything. But man, he taught that guy. Did I ever tell you this? I probably didn't tell you the story, but when I asked him if he'd ever worked with Brando, he looks at me like, you dumb motherfucker. What you ever seen the movie called The Godfather? I was like, oh shit, that's right. I hadn't made the connection between, oh God, that's right, he was in that movie too. But yeah, he was. I remember asking him, like, I wanted advice on a first date. He'd give it to me.
You asked Jimmy Caan for dating advice?
Get beat off before you go pick her up. There'll be no pressure.
That is, by the way, that is great advice.
Yeah.
That's great advice. That is, I mean, there's no one. What an era.
Just rub one out before you go pick her up. It's like, what?
There's no, and I bet he meant it. He learned that at the Playboy Mansion. Did you ever pick up any acting technique? Did he have any truisms from all of his work, acting wise, or on the set, or technique stuff?
Yeah, so I always knew that that I was in trouble when we'd do a scene. I'd be like, hold on a second. Josh, come here for a second. And he'd pull me aside. And I was like, okay, here we go. But he'd be like, just relax, just have fun, just don't try so hard, don't act. And that was because I was really green when I was like my first real show. I'd done all my children for 3 years, but that was like sort of the big time for me.
Yeah, you got thrown in right.
So it was like and so I never took it as, I was never took that with any kind of an ego. I was like, thank you. That's exactly what I need. But yeah, he wasn't shy to dole out acting advice, and thank God he wasn't.
I can imagine. I mean, he would be guys of that era when, and there aren't that many of them left. When you had the opportunity to get advice from him, I think it was, I want to say it was was it the West Wing? I forget what it was I was doing. And
I think you guys were doing that around the same time we were, no? Maybe it was...
No, I was doing the less successful Vegas show, Dr. Vegas. Disaster.
Great, Rob's going to come and wipe us off the map. I remember thinking that.
No, did not happen. Did one of the biggest debacles of... I thought it was a show like I thought we were making Nip Tuck.
Yeah,
for CBS, but we were really just making what is it? The show where Don Johnson and Cheech Marin, and they all wore like,
Oh, Nash Bridges.
yeah, we were basically Nash Bridges with stethoscopes.
Okay.
I learned a great lesson on that show, that make sure everyone knows what show they're making.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Right?
That is the truth. But man, you amaze me, first of all. I mean, whether we talk about it today or offline.
No, you can flatter me.
I need
Flatter
to know
me.
your secrets, dude. I started a company so that I could look like Rob Lowe. It's called Gatlin. There you go.
Oh, look at that. I love that swag.
Yeah.
Send me that hat. I'll sport that hat for you. That's good swag.
Absolutely. But no, it's you've just been doing this for so long that it's like, and you don't seem to, you just steady. And I think about that from time to time. Every time I see it, it's like, how does that dude keep doing it at such a high level?
Thank you.
Whether it's Wayne's World, come from some young guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Why are you shaking your head? You like that movie?
That movie, no, that moment, I remember seeing I was in an audience test screening with Mike Myers, and that joke came up. They laughed hard and long. Good. They had to go back and recut the movie. So if you ever see Wayne's World now, like on TV or whatever, and Netflix, whatever, we had to cut the movie for a whole so the audience could. In those days, you made movies to be seen with an audience. So now if you see Wayne's World, they go, I love the cream of some young guy. And then literally, it's like, cuts to this guy, cuts to that guy, cuts to this guy. The movie just stops.
Because they had to let people stop laughing.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. Now when you watch, you're like, why did the movie just stop for like 15 seconds?
That's amazing. That was a great movie. So what do you think it was for you, though? What is the secret? Is it that you did get sober and you're able to keep going and not, because I would imagine I've been close a few times, it's easy to fall into these traps in this town and to have the train go completely off the tracks. But you never did that.
I think sobriety, for sure. Anything I have is because of that, for sure. Anything. And I think that the ups and downs of any career, I mean, like even huge, ginormous movie stars think they're never going to work again.
Yeah.
I mean, Henry Fonda to the day Henry Fonda died, he was convinced he'd made his last movie. Jane told me that. So, and then, I can remember running into, some big A-lister going, God, I haven't worked in 2 years. Like, and then, so it's like that old thing where people say it's all relative. Do you know what I mean? And it is. It's like the uncertainty in this business is so gnarly that the only way to deal with it is you better be sober or have some sort of spiritual, self-reflective, meditative toolbox, or you just get fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like there's a middle ground with it because of the uncertainty.
Well, and oftentimes, and this wasn't the case for you, is that if you hit it like quick, and you did, when you guys skyrocketed,
right? Yeah,
and that's usually a good recipe for is equally as fast plummet back to the earth. So I think that for me, mine was much more. I've just been sort of like plodding along for years, but for me, it was dabbling in sobriety. I'm not sober completely. I try to be, but then I go to the cabin and the bush light looks really, really good. So I'll have a beer or two out there. But I do.
What's the point of having a cabin if you're not drinking whiskey?
Yeah, exactly. But, having done that for so long, going back and forth, I do feel much more clear. But what was I going to say? The idea that I have, for me also, along with what you just talked about, is having that group of friends back home, staying very closely connected to my family and friends for all these years. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, we had our buddy games. I think we started it was our 25th year of doing it every third weekend of August, every single year. All my friends show up and we just have a weekend of games.
Wow. What are the games?
Shooting each other with paintballs in our underwear and snowmobile helmets. This is every year kind of changes. There's always wiffle ball. There's always golf. There's always a few staples, but every year we throw in a couple ridiculous games. And, we had the one called Splattle, which was like you're on a paddle board with the big thing. And guys, I gave them a snowmobile helmet, or I gave them was it a snowmobile helmet? No, it was an actual paintball helmet. And all I could wear were their underwear. And the other team, you got to go from buoy A to buoy B across the lake. And the other team got to just try to knock you off that board with paintball guns. These are grown men doing this shit.
That's one of the things that keeps you young.
Yeah, you're right.
Doing kid stuff is one of the things that keeps you young.
I agree, man. Keep that kid alive.
100. Yeah, you got to keep your kid going.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 31. He's about going to be 32. He's going to be 32 at the end of September. Oh. And then my youngest is going to turn 30 in November. Okay.
Wow.
My oldest just got engaged. So that's the new It's just so fun to watch the chapters of life roll in. Oh, it really is.
Yeah, I've got a 12-year-old, almost 12-year-old. He turns 12 this week. And then I have a 20-month-old.
Wow.
So I'm still changing poopy diapers over here at the DeMel house. And we're probably going to have another one. So I didn't get started until pretty late. But there's another thing that could either keep me real young or it could age me really fast.
I will only, because my brother Chad started late. And he has 3 girls under the age of 15.
Okay.
And so he's basically going to have like 3 young teenage girls in the house. And he is just, you better have your energy. That's all I'm going to say. You better be doing whatever, supplements, injections, caffeine. That is the thing. That's why I'm glad I started young. Because I look at my brother, he's 60. No, he's not 60 yet. He's late 50s, and he's those girls running.
Oh God! And those girls. I got 3 younger sisters. We're hoping to have a girl, but man, those teenage years is about from like 13 to about 19.
Yeah,
it's it's just part of, they're going through the same thing. You can imagine, I had to sit. So my son goes to a Catholic school right down in Brentwood. And, like every class, I'm guessing they brought all the dads in to talk to the sons about, the birds and the bees. They want to have that conversation.
They had the dads come into the class.
They had the dads come in so that they, so just to be there with the sons and talk about like the basics of this stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the dads stood up for his daughters and said, you guys need to make sure you respect these girls because they're going through a hell of a lot more than you are.
Wow.
All the things, all the hormones and stuff, and they have to deal with a lot of stuff that guys don't. So, he made sure to make sure these boys knew to respect the girls.
That's great.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever because it's a tough time for women or girls going through from about 12 to about 19.
I look back on those times just, I feel like I remember them like they were yesterday, like growing up in that era. Like I feel like my memory has got crystal clear at like from 13 to I can remember people's names and faces. I can't remember anybody now, but I can remember like my 7th grade woodshop teacher and I think it's because everything's so heightened because we are going through so much when we're that young. It's like everything's new and it's a great time. It's a great. It'll be fun when my grandkids go through it. I'm going through a thing where like I'm future tripping.
You're gonna be a granddad.
Well, I mean, let's hope. Matthew's going to get married. I'm sure. I know he wants to have kids. No, he and his fiance Emily want to have kids, and so I'm like, okay. I've opened this up to. By the way, listeners, lowdown line. Call on the lowdown line and give your idea. What should they call me as grandpa? Because I am not grandpa. That's not on brand. America does not want me as grandpa, and nor do I. So is it, you can't go with like pop. I need a cool grandpa name, and I'm throwing it out there just to be ready and to put pressure on my son.
Huh. My grandma's, or my mother is Nana Bonbon.
Nana Bonbon. Sick.
So she had the same She had the same thing you did. She did not want to be called grandma.
No. Well, but here's the other thing, though. Then you go, like I was talking to my old pal Demi Moore the other day, and she was like, blah 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 blah, and then my grandkid, blah blah blah. I was like, whoa, 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 what? So I actually think I need a name not only for me, but I need a name for, and I didn't even say it, the grandkid.
You know what? You're not even going to care when that kid shows up.
You're not going to.
You're not even going to care, man, because
you're like, this is my grandkid.
Everything I've heard. Because I have some friends here I'm changing shitty diapers, and my friends are either sending their kids off to college or having grandkids themselves.
Yeah.
And all they just cannot believe how much they love these little, because it's almost, I wouldn't know because I don't have any yet. But it's like this kid that you love so much raising now has its own, and it's almost like double.
I know. And I can't imagine that you could love something more than your, but it's different. But everybody says it. It's just like everybody said, all the hacky, truism, pithy one-liners that people give you about fatherhood, and you go, yeah. We'll just see about that. They're all true, every one of them. So I'm sure the same is true with grandkids. I'm sure it's true.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I love is like my memory of my grandparents is more vivid and more like emotionally connected and stronger than even my memories about my own parents.
Yeah.
So the notion of being that for your grandkid is psych. By the way, I love that I'm talking about this like it's imminent.
Oh, it's happening, pal. It's coming.
Yeah, but then the next, I hope I'm not jinxing it, is what I'm saying. We don't want to jinx this.
No.
We don't want to jinx it. Tell me, I need to know what your show with Josh Brolin.
No, James Brolin.
Oh, it's James? I thought it was Josh.
James Brolin, yeah.
Oh, no way. It's James.
Yeah, James Brolin.
Oh, I love him.
So it's a show called Ransom Canyon that we did last year that came out this spring, I guess.
Yes.
Did really well. And as you know, it's hard to come by shows that do, you put things out, you just never know. You never know what's going to hit. But this one did, thankfully. And it's really good. It's a modern Western about these two families that have been sort of at each other's throats for years. One of the families is trying to convince the other ones to sell. And it's about water rights, and it's about all these, it's about real stuff, but it's really at the end of the day about relationships in the small town. Minka Kelly is in it with me. Who's fantastic in the show. Yeah. And the kids, Lizzie Green and Andrew Liner, and we had James Brolin, was one of the older characters in it, but still looks like a supermodel. That dude is something.
Oh, isn't it unbelievable? It's unbelievable,
it really
right?
is.
It's insane.
I can't even believe it.
No.
So yeah, it's just a really fun show that we, that luckily did very well for Netflix, and we're starting up again in about 2 weeks.
Oh, congratulations. I've seen tons of promos and I was so happy for you. It looks so sick. And it looks like it's just one of those things where that show is where you go, oh, these are the exact people you want doing the exact thing you want. Do you know what I mean, though? You know what I'm saying? It's like I just, it's you're great. It's perfect. You're perfectly cast. He's great in it. He's an amazing guy.
He's a sweetheart. He is a sweetheart. And he's one of those guys that's been around forever. I'd love to work with Josh Brolin. I never got a chance to meet him when we were out there. Unfortunately, James he died at the end of the first episode, so he's not coming back.
Damn.
I know. I wish he were. But yeah, we start that. I got a movie coming out September 19th. I directed a movie called Preschool that'll be coming out next spring about two dads who are fighting to get their kid into the last spot in this super pretentious high-end preschool.
No way. That's
and the
great.
amount of undermining and sabotaging that they do to each other is pretty awesome.
Who are the dads? That's a great.
So it's myself playing one of them, and Michael COCO is this amazing actor from right outside of London,
And we had Charity Wakefield play my wife, this girl named Antonia Thomas play his wife. It's just like the sweetest, funniest cast.
Is it English centric?
So I'm the only American in the movie. So I married this woman
Got it.
and you find out about a third through the movie that I walk around with the cock of the walk, like I've got all this money, but I actually married into the money. And he finds that out and uses it, of course. So that's
amazing.
Sometime next year, Paramount. And then a movie called London Calling comes out in September that I'm really stoked about, with a director named Alan Unger. I did a movie with him called Bandit a couple of years ago. He's just a fantastic young director. And that's about these two guys who, it reminds me of a 90s throwback sort of cop movie, except neither one of these two are cops. I'm sort of a hitman past his prime, doesn't quite have the vision he used to, shoots the wrong person in the opening scene at this party, and ends up having to go into hiding in Los Angeles. And I start working for Rick Hoffman's character. He's like this low-rent mob boss, and he, in exchange for me going back to visit my son in London, he makes me go on a hit he makes his son, who's a bit of a marshmallow, come with me, and I have to teach this kid how to toughen up a bit. And so it's a really fun sort of romp.
I'm assuming you shot the comedy about the prep school in London or in the UK.
So it was originally scripted for Los Angeles, but as you know, nothing freaking shoots here anymore. Yeah. So it was literally scripted for Malibu as like this new wave sort of progressive preschool.
Amazing.
We found out that we could shoot it for about a fraction of what it would have cost there in London. So we made it into this Hogwartsy, like old 500-year-old preschool that's been there forever.
Yeah.
Which actually worked out beautifully. And as you know, the actors over there are just incredible. Even the day players are just awesome in this movie. I'm really, really proud of it.
Isn't it insane? It's insane. Like with no disrespect to anybody, like you're on a show like Vegas or God forbid my show, Dr. Vegas, and you have 100 different people coming in every week, and some are great, some are good, some are horrible. Yeah. And you go to England, and there just aren't any bad actors.
They're all amazing.
I mean, the only thing that you can get hammy actors. You can definitely get that. That's the only negative. You can go, this is not a panto.
It's not Shakespeare.
They just bring it down. But they're pound for pound, man. I love working over there.
I mean, James Cosmo came and played Michael Ahsoka's dad. James Cosmo is this famous Scottish actor that was in Braveheart. He's been in.
The face. Yeah, you look at the face and you go, oh yeah, I know exactly. Like I know exactly who he is.
And so these guys, they just come out, and I mean, Charity Wakefield, they're all just fantastic. And so, I got very lucky in that regard. It was a lot of fun to shoot.
Well, I'm psyched to see
it. Have you directed anything?
I've directed two things. One was way, way, way back in the day when Showtime was making these sort of short form movies. And then I directed a remake of The Bad Seed.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun. I really loved it with McKenna Grace, who's a wonderful she's just like a young Jodie Foster.
Wow.
I would, if I had the time, I would do more of it because it's, as you know, it's the best. You get to use every club in your bag.
It is. You're right about the time. It is all consuming for like years. So we started this thing a couple years ago, and I just finally delivered it. But it's just like, oh my God, I love it too, because you really do get to sort of shape the story the way you see it. And, I love the idea of getting the best, most creative people around me in whatever department and giving them a directive and letting them all be, and everybody just sort of comes together. And I just love the idea of doing all that. I even love the idea of I love editing. It's so much time, man. It's like, man, if you really put your heart and soul into it, it's going to take you a couple of years at least to get anything done.
The editing is my favorite. I love the editing room is my favorite place to be in an editing room. And I think it's probably because I was, when I was a young actor, there was a great editor named Stuart Papay. He directed he edited 48 Hours and a lot of great stuff. And he edited a movie I was in as a young actor, and he invited me in and taught me about editing. And I loved it. And it also helped my film technique tremendously. But as you know, that's where it's made and broken.
Yeah.
You can make a shitty movie a great movie, and a great movie a shitty
Yeah.
movie in the editing room.
And it's amazing what you can actually do in the edit. That's what I really learned. I didn't really, and as an actor, all of this stuff for me is such a lesson for me as an actor, because you're sitting on the other side of this thing. You're like, oh, this is what they need from me when I'm in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So these guys give you all these different options. They're not afraid. They're fearless. They'll try different things. They're not like precious about, it's just so much of it. And even the casting part, one thing I really looked at when, these actors who are doing like Cherry Wakefield's on, what is it? The Crown. Is it The Crown?
Yeah.
Or The Great. She's on The Great. And it's a big Netflix show. And she put herself on tape for this thing. And so did Antonia. And these are like well-established actresses, both here and in London. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? I like your agents only want you to be like, no, you're offer only. I was like, no, I shouldn't be offer only. I should be putting my ass on tape and really sort of not only for the director, whatever the project is, so that they know what you're thinking about doing. Or if you really want to go get something,
If you really want to go get something, you go get it. But the other part of it is that the hierarchy does not exist in the UK. There's no hierarchy at all. Like, I did a show over there and they had, BAFTA winning actors who were literally didn't have a place to sit and keep warm with their coffee.
Yeah.
The notion of like treating actors like some sort of royalty is like, and being inaccessible does not exist over there. And there's both good and bad in that, but the great is there's no ego and there's no ceremony about anything. You want me to audition, I'll come in and by the way, I love auditioning. I always
See, I didn't. I was always terrified by it.
I loved it.
Really?
I loved it because I was so fucking competitive. And I was like, the only thing I would like more is if I could audition with you.
Yeah.
But now everything's on tape, which is like, some people have a superpower. They're great in a room.
Yeah.
And that's a handicap now. Like, I don't get to use my superpower.
Right. I just heard this great story about Tom Cruise, where he had, without getting into specifics about who the people were, he heard that this director that he really loved was making a movie. And he calls his agent and he says, why the hell did I know about this movie? And they said, well, he goes, send me the script. He reads the script that night, calls his agent back and says, what's that director's number? They give him the number. He calls the guys over in Mallorca or wherever the hell he was. And he calls him up and he says, hey, so-and-so, I heard that you're making this movie and I heard that you cast Leo in it. And I just want to say that's a great choice. He's going to absolutely crush it for you. I just want you to know that I'm a huge fan of your work and I would love the opportunity to work with you in the future. This is like Tom Cruise.
Right.
That guy goes and takes it down himself. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He goes after it. Now, that is another great lesson. It's like, we can't take any of this stuff for granted. You have to stay hungry. And I think that's what you've done such an amazing job of doing too. You just stay hungry, stay interested, stay curious.
Stay curious.
It's an amazing career, but it's not an easy one to stay relevant in. And if you don't have that sort of hunger, or that lack of ego, or that ability to just sort of go after things.
And go where it may not be accepted or cool or where everybody else is, but if you follow your interest, you just follow your interest and you said it, curiosity.
Yeah.
Like it's about what you can learn from it. It's one of the reasons why I got into doing this is it's been I started this pre-COVID.
Did you really?
Yeah. And it was because I was interested in talking to people. I didn't have any designs on anything other than I've got a bunch of fun people that I know the world doesn't know like I do.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that out.
Cool.
So, and then of course, once I ran through all of them, I started talking to everybody.
Then you got me.
I came, Josh, baby. The couple, America's Butch and Sundance, just waiting to happen.
Yeah, baby. Let's do it.
I think we could do it. This has been great. I love talking to you, man. Congratulations on your newborn, on the poopy diapers, on the hole in the ice. One day, if I'm up there, I'm going for
Please
it.
do.
I'm going
Please do.
sauna.
You're always welcome,
hole
man.
in the ice. It was great talking to you, and I hope we cross paths on campus one of these days.
We will. I have no doubt.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literally, sponsored by Lowe's.